Army, are you ready? Because what just happened in Busan, South Korea, this was no ordinary concert. This was no ordinary stage performance. This was a historic moment that made all of South Korea hold its breath and scream one single name. Jimin. That name is now lighting up every trending chart across South Korea. Number 1. Not just on one platform, everywhere. Twitter, Naver, Melon, YouTube, all of it taken over by one man named Park Jimin. And in this video, we are going to break it all down. What actually happened in Busan, why Jimin managed to steal the spotlight of an entire nation, and why this moment will be remembered forever in K-pop history. Stay right here. Watch until the very end, because at the final part of this video, I'm going to share something that will give you chills. Before we talk about that incredible performance, we need to talk about Busan first. Busan is not just a port city at the southern tip of Korea. For Jimin, a man born on October 13th, 1995 in the Jungkook district of Busan, this city is everything. This is the land where he first learned to dance, where his talent was discovered, where a young boy made up his mind to reach for the stars. Jimin grew up in Busan and studied the arts at Busan Arts High School, a school that would one day be immensely proud to have produced one of the most influential artists in the world. His teacher saw something extraordinary in him and encouraged him to audition for big hit entertainment. The rest, as they say, is history. But Busan also holds a deeper memory, one that touches the heart. In October 2022, before the BTS members went off to fulfill their mandatory military service, BTS held a farewell concert called Yet to Come in Busan at Busan Asiad Main Stadium. Tears flowed freely that night, from the members, from the army in attendance, even from those watching on screens around the world. Busan stood as a quiet witness to a goodbye that felt unbearably heavy. And now, 4 years later, Busan is a witness once again. But this time, it is not a farewell. This is the return of a hero. Let me take you back to the beginning of 2026. After years of fans waiting with hope and longing that could not be contained, on January 4th, 2026, Big Hit Music finally announced what every single army on Earth had been dreaming of. BTS was making a comeback with a brand new album and a world tour. That album is called Arirang, named after the most iconic Korean folk song, a symbol of the Korean spirit that never dies. A name full of meaning. A declaration that BTS is back not just as a K-pop group, but as a representation of Korean culture to the entire world. The Arirang World Tour is no small thing. With 34 cities and 85 shows, it is the longest and largest tour ever carried out by any Korean artist in history. Every ticket sold out in minutes. In Jakarta alone, 580,000 people queued just to get a ticket within a single hour of general sale. But among all the cities on this tour, there was one that was awaited above all others. One city that holds something more special. One city that carries memories, tears, love, and dreams. Busan. The BTS World Tour Arirang concerts in Busan were scheduled for June 12th and 13th, 2026 at Busan Asiad Main Stadium, the very same stadium where Yet to Come took place 4 years earlier. And this was no coincidence. The second night, June 13th, fell exactly on the celebration of BTS's 13th debut anniversary, the day they first released No More Dream, on June 13th, 2013. The number 13 has always been special for BTS, and Busan has always been home. For weeks before the concert, Busan was already preparing. The Busan city government held a series of events under the banner BTS The City Arirang. Themed light installations across every corner of the city, exclusive pop-up stores, special events to welcome the tens of thousands of fans arriving from all over the world. Gimhae Airport was packed with army. Hotels throughout Busan were fully booked weeks in advance. Many fans arrived early just to breathe in the Busan BTS atmosphere, walking the same streets that Jimin and Jungkook once walked as children growing up in this city. Then the night finally came. 2 nights, June 12th and 13th, 2026. A total of 110,000 fans packed Busan Asiad Main Stadium. Tens of thousands more watched through a live stream on the Weverse platform and in hundreds of cinemas around the world. When the BTS members, RM, Jin, Suga, Jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, appeared on stage, The sound that erupted was not just screaming. It was the explosion of 4 years of bottled-up emotion. A longing that burst into one wave of sound so powerful it nearly brought the Busan sky down. The newest songs from the Arirang album, Hooligan, Aliens, They Don't Know About Us, and Swim, shook the entire stadium. But in the middle of all that energy, every pair of eyes found their way to one figure. Jimin. With his blonde hair shining brighter than ever before, Jimin appeared like an angel descending from the Busan sky, a man returning home, to the land that gave him life, proving to the world that he had grown far beyond the biggest dream he once dared to imagine. His movement. Oh, his movement. There are no words sufficient to describe the way Jimin moves on a stage. Every sway of his body, every expression on his face, every reach of his hand into the air, it all felt like a living poem, like water flowing, and yet like lightning splitting the sky at the same time. In the middle of the show, there was one moment that made the entire stadium, all 55,000 people on that second night, fall into a solemn silence before erupting into tears and screams. Jimin stood at the edge of the stage, gazing out at the ocean of purple light sticks filling the arena, and with a voice that trembled ever so slightly, he spoke in Korean. "I'm home. This is my hometown. Thank you for waiting for me." Busan shook, not metaphorically. People who were there said they could feel that wave of emotion all the way down to their bones. Even before the concert ended, South Korean social media had already exploded. Jimin's name, across countless hashtags and spelling variations, dominated every trending chart. On Twitter/X Korea, multiple hashtags simultaneously claimed spots in the top 10 trending list. On Naver, the largest search portal in Korea, searches for Jimin surged by thousands of % within minutes of his solo stage segment. Clips of Jimin's performance spread at the speed of light. The video of him singing his solo part, dancing with a precision that seemed almost superhuman, speaking to the Busan crowd in the warm and familiar Busan dialect. All of it went viral in a matter of hours. Korean entertainment media scrambled to cover it. Headlines like "Jimin hypnotizes 55,000 fans in Busan" and "The King of Busan has returned" splashed across all the major news portals. Even international media like Billboard reported on it with full admiration. And this is not the first time Jimin has proven his power on the charts and in streaming. His solo track, Who, from the album Muse released in July 2024, has now accumulated 2.4 billion streams on Spotify, making it the first solo song by an Asian artist without a featured guest to ever reach that milestone. The song also held a remarkable 33-week run on the Billboard Hot 100 as a solo act. But all those numbers, no matter how staggering, feel different when you witness it in person. When you watch 55,000 people cry and scream his name in the very city where he was born. Numbers cannot capture a moment like that. But what makes Jimin different from just another pop star is something no number can measure. And that something is his heart. Behind all the stage glamour and millions of devoted fans, Jimin is a person who never forgets where he came from or who believed in him along the way. Since 2019, he has consistently donated 100 million won to various education offices across South Korea, covering Busan, Jeonnam, Gangwon, Chungbuk, and Gyeongnam, among others. In September 2025, just months before the Arirang album dropped, he once again quietly donated 100 million won to the Love Scholarship Foundation of the Jeonbuk Office of Education to support talented students from financially struggling backgrounds. There was no ceremony, no publicity. Everything was done in silence, at Jimin's personal request. That is Jimin, a person whose net worth is estimated at $26 million, who still chooses to put that wealth toward helping young people fight for an education, just as he once fought for his own. Jimin is also a black belt holder in Taekwondo. He graduated from Korea Arts High School and Global Cyber University. He completed his mandatory military service alongside Jungkook and was officially discharged on June 11, 2025, exactly 1 year before this historic Busan concert. And when he returned to Busan, returned to the city that raised him, he did not arrive as the big star from Seoul. He arrived as a son of Busan coming home, and the entire city wrapped its arms around him. When BTS first appeared on June 13, 2013 with the song No More Dream, Nobody could have imagined that 13 years later they would be standing before 110,000 people in Busan, the hometown of two of their members, and shaking the world all over again. This journey was not easy. There were dark periods, moments when giving up seemed close, years of relentless hard work. There was a military chapter that separated them from their music and their fans for years. But they held on. And now, at the Arirang concert in Busan in 2026, we are witnessing the fruit of every single one of those struggles. The Arirang tour itself is a new record: 34 cities, 85 shows, making it the most expansive tour ever undertaken by a Korean artist in history. The Arirang album continues to dominate global charts on Billboard and Spotify. BTS is not merely surviving, they are growing larger than ever. And Jimin? Jimin is the heartbeat at the center of all of it. Vogue Korea named him the Sound of Now on the cover of their January 2026 issue. Brilliant delicacy, dreamy and fairy tale-like, warm beauty. Those were the words used to describe him. Dior chose him as their brand global ambassador. Tiffany and company placed their trust in him as well. But all the titles, all the major brands, all the records, none of it feels more real than that moment when he stood at Busan Asian Main Stadium, looked out at the sea of purple, and whispered into the microphone, "This is my hometown." There is a question you might be asking right now. Why does a concert in Busan feel so different? Why not Seoul, the capital of K-pop? Why Busan? The answer is both simple and profound. Because Busan is the root. This stadium, Busan Asian Main Stadium, is where BTS held BTS Fifth Muster, Magic Shop, in 2019. It is where they held Yet to Come in Busan in 2022, their final full group concert before military service. And now in 2026, it has become the place where they celebrate 13 extraordinary years together. Every time BTS comes back to Busan, something magical happens, like a child returning to the arms of a mother. Everything feels more real, warmer, and more meaningful. And for Jimin in particular, Busan is not just a city. Busan is his identity. The way he speaks, the way he smiles, even the way he dances, all of it carries the trace of Busan. When he performs in front of a crowd in this city, he is not performing for an audience. He is having a conversation with his past, with the dreams of a boy who once practiced dancing late into the night on these very streets. And all of South Korea, all of the world, watched that conversation and felt something move inside them. Army, that is the story of the night that made Busan shake. The night when Jimin, a boy from Busan who left for Seoul with a giant dream and returned as one of the most influential artists on earth, stood before his homeland and proved that the dream was real. The night when 110,000 people felt the vibration of something far greater than music. The vibration of a human journey full of struggle, love, and sincerity. And the night when all of South Korea agreed. There was no name more deserving of the #1 trending spot that day than Park Jimin. The Arirang concert in Busan is not just a stop on a world tour. It is a new chapter in a story that has not finished being written. And the next chapter? It looks like it is going to be even more incredible. If you have watched this video all the way to the end, thank you. You are amazing. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss our latest content. And most importantly, tell me in the comments, which moment from the Busan concert hit you the hardest? See you in the next video, Army. Always take care of yourself, just like Jimin always takes care of you. Purple Heart.